welcome back to Maxwell's Music House. I'm Sean Cassidy. We have a great show for you here tonight. We have Canada's infamous Lindy with two opening bands, Kirby and the Tri-City's very own Mandippal. Mandippal is a local musician who has had a growing response from playing several local shows to being featured on Rogers TV, Brit Asian Magazine UK, Conestoga's CJIQ FM, and many, many others. Mandippal has been working hard to get his name out there, and clearly with some success.
You can never say hello, you don't notice that I'm here when you are there I go, wishing I could disappear, cause you're everything I wanted, but I'll never be with you.
Down here at Maxwell's Music House once again, another Thursday evening. Tonight joining us is Mandippal. How are you doing tonight?
Good, man, how are you?
Good, nice to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So, how many times have you played here at Maxwell's?
I hold the record for the most shows played here. I hold the record, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think Cornapal's like 40 or 45 shows since they opened, yeah.
Really?
I played here before it was a bar.
Excellent.
In the coffee house days, yeah.
In the coffee house days?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize this used to be a coffee house.
Yeah, just coffee and tea, and like chips and stuff, yeah. Long time.
So, are you an artist that's put together some albums in the time that you've been playing here?
Yeah, I have a record out right now on iTunes. I've been up for like 4 years, and I've just finished up my new one last week. So it should be out hopefully by Christmas, middle of January.
So you have two albums?
Yeah, so I have one right now that's on iTunes, and I have one coming out.
Coming up that will be on iTunes.
Yeah.
Excellent. And what's the name of the new album?
No idea.
No idea yet?
No, because it's just brand new. We're still trying to decide what we want to do with it yet, so hopefully come up with a name soon.
Oh, okay. So how many songs do you have together for that?
Just five. It's just an EP.
So are we going to be lucky enough to hear some of those 5 songs tonight?
Yeah, I'm playing all the songs tonight, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And in the time that you've been working on these albums, have you done any really interesting shows, got to play
I got to play Lilith Fair as a guitar player with a friend of mine at the Molson Amphitheater. With a girl named Gerald London. We played the Molson Amphitheater. I was playing guitar. I was like...
That's one of my favorite venues.
Probably. We weren't on the main stage, but we were like... It was still pretty cool. It was raining, people were packing up to see us. It was really cool. That's probably the shows that I played. I got over for like Sarah Slane and Julie Black and a bunch of people like that. So I've had a few good shows. I play about 200 shows a year, so there's always like one memorable one that I'll never remember.
So you get out there a few times a week then?
Yeah, I play about 4 nights a week.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is it just you that's in?
Yeah. Well, in like for my original stuff, just me. But I have a cover band as well that we play around town. So I have 4 guys in that band. But for my stuff, it's just me right now. But the new record's gonna be all full band. So I'll be hiring players and doing some showcases with the band, which is for the first time in a long time. So it should be good.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
No worries, man. Thanks for having me. Cool.
Indie rock artist Kirby from Burlington, Ontario, started his pursuit into the music world at the age of 16. His first band was known as First Time Falling, but it wasn't long until Kirby jumped headfirst into a solo career. Kirby has now released several EPs which have drawn him fans from all over Canada. And up next here we have folk rock artist Kirby.
How you doing, man?
Good, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So, how many times have you played in Waterloo?
This is actually my first time in Waterloo. I've played in Kitchener years ago with another band, like a rock band I was in, but I haven't been back to Waterloo or in Waterloo, I think, ever since hockey when I was a kid.
Oh, really? Yeah. Long time ago, eh?
Yeah, a long time.
So, you've mentioned you were on tour this year. Where'd you go?
I decided last year because I was recording a record for the last just an EP, and it took so long to put this record out. And the downtime I had, I thought I'd spend about 6 months touring. I don't really care for having a real job, and I really like being on the road and playing music. So I decided to buy a car and hit the road. And I'd already toured about 3 or 4 times before that. And I bought a car, and I set up some tours and went out to Newfoundland, all the way out to Newfoundland and back, and then all the way out to Vancouver Island and back, and did the same thing again. So I went out east and west twice last year. So just a lot of touring. I'm not even sure how many dates it was exactly, but just a lot of time on the road.
That is a lot of time on the road. So in that time, did you get to meet any really interesting people, do any really cool shows, anything like that?
You know, there's, and it's kind of along the same lines as the question people ask you when they say like what kind of music inspires you, right? But it's the people I got to meet, and even going along with the kind of music that I really like. It's all these artists that you get to meet at the shows, and the best shows are always these really weird small ones that just kind of happen. Like even something like tonight, where just you either run into friends that you've met on the road before, or other friends that you make it that night, and you know you're just going to end up seeing them on tour at some point anyway. There are always music festivals and stuff are tons of fun, just because you end up going up for a weekend, like in Brandon, Manitoba at the Brandon Folk Fest. There was 3 days of just kind of playing music and camping and hanging out with the musicians and playing songs till 6, 7 in the morning, and then everybody crashes and gets up and goes and plays their set. So that's the kind of stuff that's like the most fun, or those really like impromptu like shows that you just kind of end up at, like a house show a friend of mine and I did in Halifax. That was this open mic we just thought we'd show up at, and we ended up going, and it was this house it's an open mic run by Ben Kaplan, who's an artist in Halifax. And he runs this open mic out of his home that for some reason was advertised in the paper. So we showed up, there was like 100, 150 kids there, and everyone's hanging out and just relaxing in a really, really cool house show environment. And we got there too late, so I couldn't play initially, and then just it happened that there was an opening, so I jumped on and got to play for like 50, 60 kids. And people were like just completely riveted, sitting there kind of staring at you, and it was just so intense and really awesome. But the energy was great, the crowd was great, and at the end of this one song where I get everybody to sing, and the line is Big Bad Wolf, the cops had actually been called, and they kind of pulled up outside. So I thought everybody was going like, oh, because I was that good, but it was really because they saw the cops behind me. So that sticks out in my head, but it's just a culmination of everything you get to do on the road. It's tons of fun.
So was that your third album you were promoting on that tour?
You know what? I was playing songs off of that. It wasn't out yet. It just the new record. It's called Into the Dark. It's a 7-song EP. It's the first one I got to do with a band, and I recorded it in Burlington with a friend of mine at a bunch of different studios in town. And I was playing those songs, but constantly writing as well, right? So there's new stuff I was playing and some older songs, and just kind of doing a mixture of everything. So I'm finally, now that the record came out in September, I'm starting to play a few more shows just with mostly of the new stuff. But once you've written new material and you've already recorded some, you want to play those songs off that latest record, but you've written new stuff already. So it always becomes this mix of stuff you've recorded before and stuff that's just come out, and then for me, stuff that I've just written. So it's always a mix.
Excellent. So you're writing new stuff as you're going on. So is a fourth album already in the making, or?
Yeah, you know what? It never really stops. Like I don't record records. Like I think I've only done one full length, like 12-song record with an old band I was in. It was not an old band. It's a band I still play with called First Time Fallen out of Burlington, and we're like a heavier rock band. But that was the only band I was in where we did like 12 songs. And then since then, I don't know if I just don't have, like if I have attention deficit disorder or something, I just can't focus on more than say seven songs at a time. So I've constantly got new stuff I've wrote, and I probably have a new record in there somewhere in the mix of all the songs, but nothing that's been finalized yet. I'm still kind of working on this new one as it's come out, and I started working on like the layout of another record, but haven't really finalized any of the tracks on it yet. So constantly evolving, constantly going. So
excellent. And you have a website that's kirbysings.com.
Absolutely.
So anybody that can go on there and check out those albums.
And actually right now the new record is up for free download. So if you go on to kirbysings.com, you can check out the new record Into the Dark. It's there for free to download. And the new website should hopefully be up in the next little bit, and I'll have the other records up there as well, so you can check out all the show dates and all the tour stuff that I'm going to be doing in the new year. I'm kind of taking the rest of the year off to get all my ducks in a row, as it were, and hopefully get down to. I was thinking of going down to Australia in the new year and maybe New Zealand. I've got some friends and some family down there to tour, play some shows. So hopefully I can get down there and do it. If not, I'll definitely be touring somewhere. Just not quite sure yet.
So during your tours and you're making your albums, it sounds like you have a lot of fun going out there and doing that stuff. Is there any difficulties or struggles that you deal with during those times?
You know, I was always touring with somebody. I think I've done 9 tours now, and I've always traveled with somebody. And the last one I did was 2 months just by myself, and I'd never done that before. I wanted to do it alone. I'd met a bunch of artists like Wax Mannequin tours quite a bit, and he always does it alone. or has done it a number of times. And Del Barber was another artist I met, and he did it the same way. And all these other artists I'd met on the road, they're like, you have to go out by yourself. And that was the first time where I think you're inside your head so much that you just have these days where you're like, I'm going to quit. This is just, I'm too poor, and everything's costing too much money, and nobody really gives a shit, and nobody really cares about, you show up to a gig and you kind of lose focus of the fact that you're playing music, and it's not easy, but it's part of who I am and part of what I do. And it's so easy to lose sight of that when you're by yourself and you have nothing but yourself to look back on and reflect. To get very self-deprecating. So at times like that, I always end up calling a few friends at home, or even resorting to. I think I posted something that I was gonna quit music on Facebook one day, just as like a joke. And a few people had messaged me that I don't really hear from that often, just casual friends or people you talk to online once in a while. And they sent me, like, this one guy, a casual friend of mine that. He's a nice guy, great guy. He sent me a really long email about why it was good that I was still doing it and why I should keep doing it, and that it sucks sometimes, but so does everything else. And to pretty much quit whining and just to keep doing it. And it made me laugh. I remember sitting in my car, and I was in Kelowna or something like that at West, and just laughing because it was so ridiculous that I thought that this was that bad, or that I was having such a bad time that I should actually give up. So.
It's nice to have that feedback. I'm
Totally,
sure.
and
Yeah,
it totally changes your perspective on things, and keeps you. There's always good and bad days with any job, I guess. But with music, it's especially when you're by yourself, it's kind of hard. But you realize it's really not that big a deal. There's way worse things to be doing, and if you're playing music, you're fine as long as you're playing as much as you can.
Cool, excellent. Thank you very much for coming out.
Thank you very much.
That's kirbysings.com. Check it out. Up next, we have Lindy coming up.
I can't tell you where I was. Stay with me just because.
Lindy, raised in Canada's Lake Winnipeg, has become quite an accomplished solo artist with 6 albums and a 7th in production. But you might also recognize the band where Lindy got his first big start, Major Maker, with 2 big hits back in '07, Roller Coaster and Talk to You, which aired in national TV commercials. Even with the band's success, Lindy went on to start his artful solo career.
I try to fall, and the ambulances roll.
Welcome back, and here's our feature guest, Lindy. Welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, you were in a band, Major Maker,
Yeah.
and you got to do some pretty big things with them. So,
Yeah.
what happened there?
Well, my friend Todor Kobakov and I started writing a bunch of songs, and sure enough, we're like, let's make an album. And so we did that, and we did it on his Digio 9, back in the dark ages. We made this really cool record, and then we just kept writing these ideas, and then, as you know, this one of them was pitched for the candy commercial. Yep. And for Maynard's, and that set off a whole chain of events that we never could have foreseen, and it got us on the radio all across the country, and because when people were going to select what songs they were going to add to their playlists, they'd already heard that one, so it was a pretty easy choice. And then we made another EP after that to follow up, and then everybody started getting busy doing other stuff too. Todor is a composer, and he writes music for film and TV, and he's just finished scoring the Samuel L. Jackson film.
Oh, really?
And but it all sort of happened one night with Major Maker at the Mod Club, and finished our set. And that's when the band informed me that they weren't going to play another show with me until I made a solo album. So I thought that was, wow, these guys are so awesome. And of course they're all going to be playing on it, and that's what I'm working on right now.
So that's when you launched your solo career, and
Yeah.
how many albums have you done solo now? Is this?
I guess the one coming up will be my 6th solo album, yeah.
So it says they were only asking for you to do one. You've now done 6.
Yeah, no, I've did the other ones before Major
okay.
Maker, yeah. And so this new one is something I've been working on for a couple of years, like writing and you know, while doing other things like renovating my house and so I'm really excited to, you know, we just finished our crowdfunding site and we got almost $9,000 and it's just awesome.
So how does it, you have Leslie Feist, Ron Sexsmith, Hayden, Tegan and Sarah, all these big names that are fans of your music. How does that feel? Is that a bit surreal or?
Yeah, that's great. I mean, like, we're all fans of each other. We all sort of grew up in the same time in Toronto, and we cut our teeth in the music scene in Toronto around the same time, and so it was like a bit of a community, and yeah, we all are just, you know, friends and fans of each other. And it's pretty cool.
Excellent. So you said you're working on working on a new EP?
Yeah.
Is that released yet, or is that up and coming?
Well, we just closed the Rocket Hub site, which was our crowdfunding thing. We raised almost $9,000, and it's really fantastic. Like, even when we started the thing in August, you know, you press go, and when the first ones come in, it's just such an awesome feeling. And some people pledged, you know, $500 and $1,000, and it was just totally cool. And you know, by pledge I mean they bought the album in advance of actually me recording it. So I haven't started recording it yet. And I just got back from New York today, so I'm really looking forward to starting on it this weekend and next week. And we're going to start doing demos, and I'll be working with Todor and Scuba Steve.
Oh,
And
excellent.
yeah, it's going to be really cool.
So is there an expected release date for that?
I would really love to say that it'll be finished for Christmas around that time, and I hope that can, you know, be adhered to.
Yeah. Is this something that will be available on iTunes then for
Yeah,
fans?
for sure. Yeah, we'll put it up on iTunes and we'll try and get it in as many countries as possible.
Absolutely.
I'm really excited about it.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thanks
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, right on.
Just like the last time in a silent auction game. It was cold daylight. And show you, and now tell everyone.
Be sure to check out these artists' websites to check out their upcoming shows and CD releases. Next Thursday, we have an awesome lineup. So get down here, check it out, Maxwell's Music House. We will be joined by Amos the Transparent, the Darcys, and the Teenage Kicks. Following Thursday, another great lineup with Tim Chason and the Morning Fold. So thanks for watching. I'm Sean Cassidy, Maxwell's Music House.